my experiences in the past with this fantastic lens were that the OIS, I don't know if it's the size of it or something, it still was a little bit shaky, but still usable. Now I'm hoping this IBIS will give us an extra peak. Now I have tested it already around and about the house, which I'm not bothering to show you now, and I do feel it's still a bit wobbly, it's still a bit rock and roll, but you know, maybe there'll be a firmware on that. We'll have a little look and talk about it in a bit. But yeah, right, I'm gonna go for a little drive. I've got my, what's left of my coffee there. I've got a starter pack down there in case all goes a bit funny if I stop for something. Not that there's anything to stop for. And of course, keys are in. In the screen, all seems okay. Face tracking is working even though I've got my sunglasses on. I can see the little box on my eye. Big box has disappeared, but the little box is there. Anyway. And of course we're in AFC. Now, I look like a bit of a weirdo for a change, but I'm just going to do a little walking test and hope no one nicks my car, so I'm not ready to turn it off. I do have the booster thing there, but anyway. My mechanic told me to go for a drive, so that's what I've done. He didn't say stop, go for a coffee, although I don't think anywhere's open in there. Anyway, I don't really fancy going in there. Right, let's go for a walk and see if we can not get, oh, that's really not going to work. That's on F11 now. The good thing about this is, and I've got my shades, I can see if anyone's approaching my car at the same time. I'm holding this thing out fully extended and we're at 10 mil. Let me just rock it into 18 so you can see where that would be. I can see a bit more shakes going on now. Let's go back out. Obviously, the wider you go, the bit more forgiving it will be. So well, that's enough walking, I think. Little pan round and go back that way. You can even see my arm, it's that wide. I do love this lens, frankly, and I would love to use it in this kind of combo, but it's still kind of a heavy combo for a vlogging thing, so it's a good job I'm not doing this all the time. Casey Neistat uses, I have no idea, the Canon 70D. Now I own the 80D currently, although it's up for sale. I can't have too many cameras, you see. And anyway, he used it, although let's be honest, this feels heavier than the 80D setup. I do have the equivalent lens. I'm swapping arms because anyway, and it's not that I'm weak, you know, I can lift some weight usually, so I don't think it's that, but I mean, it should be very usable. What do you reckon? Let me know in the comments below. Ah, great, there's the police, so I might have to get back in the car now and see. I do believe they are swinging back this way. Let's see if we can show you the old bill. There they are. Right, better stop for a minute. See you, old bill, and that's probably an unmarked old bill. Focus. Where's my face? There's my face. Interesting. I suppose this is what vloggers do, right? I mean, if I was a real vlogger, I'd go and get a coffee, show you my dinner. I mean, I do all that stuff when I travel on holiday, which is why I'm testing this, because I do love the focal length and the variety. It's a cracking lens for travel. It's a little bit big for my taste, as I constantly go down about. But you know what? For everything that the camera offers, and maybe the lens gives, well, it does give, maybe it's a combo that I would travel with. Maybe I would sacrifice that space in the bag that I normally try to save. And is this getting a bit wobbly? Let us know what you think. See, these kind of scenes I have absolutely no issue with at all. Wonderful. This lens is cracking. Now, why on earth there's a cherry picker on this day? Typical. Zoom in a little bit and hold it steady. Seems fine to me. Pan it round. I am moving forward a bit. Seems absolutely fine. But then if I jump in the shot and hold it out, I think the face tracking's got me. Take my glasses off, it's got me. I've had to stop it all the way down to F18 because of the sun. Let's drop to 16, whatever. It's not ideal. ND filter territory. I think you need a 72mm, of course, for this XF10-24. Now, I wanted to tell you or remind you to go check out Gordon Lang's channel, Camera Labs guy. He's got a comparison of the IBIS with this lens and the 16-55, which I haven't got to do the same thing. I like to do this test for myself, but his is a very tidy test, a lot tidier than this. But you know, this is a very random, unplanned version, and I think to all intents and purposes, not bad. Anyway, I'm gonna go have lunch. I'm not gonna vlog that because, just because. I'll show you a bit more of this Aston Park scene. Yes, that, by the way, that you can see behind me is Aston Hall. Alas, there's a cherry picker in there somewhere, which has kind of ruined the shot for me, but very nice venue, especially for weddings and stuff like that. And if you've watched my Nikon 24-70 video, and I think some others, can't remember, I've been up here before a few times to do stuff, little samples for YouTube. Anyway, I've shot weddings in there and it is cracking. 10-24, cracking lens, but is it worthy now we've got IBIS in the camera? What do you reckon? Again, I've asked you already. Have you answered? Make sure you answer, but subscribe first. I like them clouds. That's pretty cool. This is a bit narcissistic, isn't it? Well, I suppose I wouldn't put it this close if I was a real narcissist. Look at the shape of my head. Is that this lens needs cleaning? After all that. But that's not the point, it's all about the IBIS. Subscribe, because there will be better things soon. If you've got it, yeah, use it. I mean, let's mention that big time vlogger again, Casey Neistat. A lot of his stuff, it's wobbly, it's shaky, it throws out of focus, but you know, people watch it, and he puts a lot of work into what he does with certain things, with the time lapses and the B-roll stuff and whatnot, and it's all about the personality. Now, this isn't all about the personality, it's all about testing stuff. But yeah, gone back through the footage and there's a few little issues, let's be fair, but not with the IBIS of the T4, but I feel that a firmware update could sort this out. Now at the widest you can get away with it with this lens, absolutely fine. If you're shooting just a random scene and not yourself, then even better, it seems to handle that even more so. But when you start to walk, and I appreciate this is a very noisy situation, you start to walk, things get a little bit awkward. So I really want a 10f2, something as wide but a lot smaller, a lot lighter, or at the very least that Fuji can work some magic with the firmware of the lens so it marries up better with the IBIS of the T4. As you can see, things are still quite funky. We've put the digital image stabilization on. It should be cropped in a little bit, 1.1 times. What do you reckon? Again, sorry about the sound, but I wanted to test it under here where the light was a bit more rugged. For good measure, this is with everything off. You just flick the OIS switch and that turns it all off. This should be even more unusable, even though the focal length helps us out. Can Fujifilm sort something out in a firmware update, or do we need that prime? Or even that Viltrox 1314? I wonder what that will be like. Not quite 10, but pretty cool. So, yeah. What do you reckon? Let us know in the comments below.